You flip the switch up here, you have the nice free slide. Say, now I can go to my 39 and lock it in place. They added one little change, so you can use that. You flip this in,
right?
It locks in just like a normal miter saw.
Hey, what's up? Barnaby here. So you want to know more about the DEWALT compound miter saw? Well, I can tell you that it's got a 15 amp motor capable of spinning the blade at 3,800 RPM. It's a dual bevel miter saw, and it's also got dual rods for slide capabilities as well. And what we like to do with tools like this is put them onto the trucks of men like this, Dan Burkike, and say, take it out at the job site, use it for a couple of weeks, and then come back, Dan, and tell me specifically what you thought about this saw's performance, design, quality, and value. So first of all, tell me about yourself.
I run a small contracting company. I do residential remodeling, property maintenance, and light commercial rehab.
All right, so look, what did you use this saw for specifically?
I was building some bathroom cabinets, a bathroom vanity, and then some flower boxes.
Okay, so varieties of wood, different dimensions. How did it perform?
I actually own the older version of this. It's 2 years old.
Okay.
And I really like the way it functions. I like how long it's lasted me. So I really have liked the saw.
Okay. And so then everything you threw at it, it made its way through. Like, what's the biggest piece of wood that you tried to cut with this?
A 4x4 oak.
Yeah, how'd that go for you?
Cut right through it.
Yeah.
Of course, any saw will do it with the right blade.
Sure.
But will it do it repetitively?
Right.
And I would say it does.
Okay, so then as far as cross cuts go, it can handle some pretty big pieces of wood?
Yeah, it'll cut without flipping it around about 14 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
Which is a good size shelf, and we'll cut right through it.
Yeah. So did you do any mitering, like any crown, anything like that?
I wasn't doing any crown mold, but I was doing some inside bevels
Yeah.
for some of the boxes, so you don't see any ingrain. So I was dropping the saw over, and then it has the presets for the 22.5. I was able to do all my cuts right there.
All right. And so then let's talk about the general performance, I guess. You give it a thumbs up?
I do.
Yeah. Moving on to design, because you had the saw a couple years previous, it's probably got some changes in it. To start, let's go for it.
Well, most notable changes, I would definitely say would be the dust collector. It's got a much bigger capacity in it. It's about twice the size of the other one, and the other one slid through and 45'd over.
Right.
So this actually grabs much more of the dust, and you don't need an adapter to hook it up to your vacuum.
Okay. Yeah, in the literature they were saying about 75% dust collection. I think that's accurate.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. And what about the fact that, I mean, a lot of people say, I don't know if I need the slide saw because so much of the work that I do is just regular fixed miter saw, but I like the slide, but boy, it's a pain in the butt to get, just...
Well, a lot of guys complain about that.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to set it, they have a little screw back here.
Yeah.
And that will vibrate loose, and you'll be able to slide it. Well, they added one little change, so you can use that. You flip this in.
Right.
It locks in just like a normal miter saw, so you don't have the problem of it sliding out as you're cutting.
Boy, isn't it funny, something as simple as just a little arm that comes down.
Right.
Locks it in.
So that's a really nice feature. And then they also added about 2 more inches of travel on the saw, which to me is a huge bonus. As you're cutting through plywood, you don't get right at the end, the splitting.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the feel of it as you're flipping the table and you're going for the detents. Does it lock in nice and tight?
You have the detents, you go to your 22.5, locks in nice and solid,
Yeah.
and you can lock it down if you're leery about it, but it does lock in. Push the button, go to your 45, and then if you're doing a crown mold, where you're changing it constantly,
Right.
you flip the switch up here, you have the nice free slide, say, now I can go to my 39 and lock it in place.
Okay.
Lock it, swing it over.
Okay. And the bevel moves pretty well for you?
The bevel, like most saws, it'll go to the left by just unscrewing it, it'll drop. But then to go to the right, you have to pull the lever out to get it to drop to the right. And they do that so you can go back to 0 every time.
Okay.
So you're not wobbling back and forth.
Yeah. Now this seems like a bit of a new addition here, the bright yellow gauge.
It's nice so you can see your angles a lot clearer. It's bigger numbers, it's a bigger pad, and it's nice and bright. And with sawdust is most of the time white or yellow. It hits that and it doesn't really deter. Where if it's black, it builds up a residue.
Okay. What about changing out the blade? Easy or hard?
Well, they got the chuck built in right in the back. Easy still. It's got your star bit, and it's got your hex. You open this up, unscrew this slides up. Then it has the button here that locks the blade in place, so you just twist the bolt off.
Okay.
And then when you're done, you just restow it.
Okay. Well, then let's talk about the quality. Because you've owned a DEWALT saw before, you can speak at least about the longevity, a couple of years in the trenches with it. And now, when you start this guy up, does it seem like the same saw as the saw previous? And,
It does.
Yeah.
It seems just as strong and just as well built as the 2-year-old model that I have. So as far as quality goes, I would say it's going to last the time.
Excellent. All right then. And so crunch the numbers for us. If it comes down to buying a saw, there's certainly a lot of different compound miter saws out there. Is this the one you buy?
For me, yes. I like it. I like how it's lasted. I like the functionality of it. So yes, I would buy it. If you're not going to use the slide and you just need the miter saw, I'd say just buy a miter saw and don't spend the extra couple $100. But if you're looking for a slide, it's a strong saw and it will last time.
Okay. Okay, there you go. You know, Dan Verkuyk has used it, gosh, for a couple of years, figuratively speaking, with his previous incarnation of the saw, and now this one, tested it in the field, so we can get a better understanding of which tool is right for the job, because that's what we're all about here at toolselect.com. Real stats, real people, getting to that real bottom line. Is this the right tool for the job?
You flip the switch up here, you have the nice free slide, say, now I can go to my 39 and lock it in place. They added one little change, so you can use that. You flip this in,
right?
It locks in just like a normal miter saw.
Hey, what's up? Barnaby here. So you want to know more about the DEWALT compound miter saw? Well, I can tell you that it's got a 15 amp motor capable of spinning the blade at 3,800 RPM. It's a dual bevel miter saw, and it's also got dual rods for slide capabilities as well. And what we like to do with tools like this is put them onto the trucks of men like this, Dan Verkuyk, and say, take it out of the job site.